Now, last week, we did a story about Justice Baffoe Bonnie. And this is the story. This is a gist. I'm going to share with you. It's a gist. So there were people within the president's office, inner circle of President Mahama, who didn't want Baffoe Bonnie to be nominated as a Chief Justice. That's normal. It's natural. It always happens. In politics, that's the game. There were those who wanted Justice Baffoe Bonnie also to be nominated. So what you do when you have a situation like that, you don't get upset because there's nothing to get upset about political appointments. They'll always be lobbying for other people. However you think somebody is qualified, another person has a different opinion. That's the inner circle politics around the presidents of Ghana and presidents of everywhere. So you don't have to get upset that people don't want your choice. They want another person. What you do then, if you can, is to develop and devise a strategy that will help you to achieve the results. Because the president's an individual, he's a politician, he's an individual, as a leader. He's going to listen to everyone, and then you have to find a way to sway the president to your side. It happens on a daily basis when presidents are about to make important and sensitive appointments. So the gist is that the NDC people who supported Justice Baffoe Bonnie, they mentioned to him, the chief, the thing is becoming very tight. You have Amadou Tanko in there. And the lobby for Amadou Tanko is coming from very important, significant quarters. I won't mention the name, but they told me. It's coming from very important quarters. Amadou Tanko's nomination. There's also the age-old Justice Kulendi thing, which is also being captured by some important people around the president. In fact, some of the president's immediate family wanted Justice Kulendi. Okay. And then there are also those who think that Justice Gabriel Poaman has done more than enough to get the situation, something they call the situation. We don't know what it is, but we can surmise that is reference to the Tokonu removal. We can surmise that, but we don't know. So Justice Gabriel Poaman too should be considered for the position. In any case, Baffoe Bonnie will end in December 2026, next year. He's gone. Okay. So the supporters of Baffoe Bonnie, we heard this last week, told him that, Chief, one of the ways in which you can get this thing is you have an invitation to the bar conference, you speak there. Perhaps you should touch on Galamsey, perhaps, because it's real. The Galamsey is a problem. When you touch on Galamsey, you will be able to attract some attachment of independence to your candidature. Because right now, it is suspected that there has been a railroading of Tokonu out of the seat. And it is suspected that all of us have participated in this process. So if you were to stand one step away and speak about Galamsey, which is true and which is public knowledge, you will be able to attach to yourself a certain sense of independence. That will make it very difficult for the government to ignore you as the acting Chief Justice and place another person, because the independent MPP media, the Paul Adom-Otcheres of this world, Miracles Abuaje and Nana B and all those people who come on Good Morning Ghana for MPP talkatives and all that, they are all going to point fingers at John Mahama and say that, oh, you see, the guy was acting. Because he spoke against the president, they didn't give it to him, and it's going to paint the president as an intolerable kind of person. Already, the president having to struggle with that kind of narrative. And he's a president who has always been presented as one who is very friendly and who is very tolerating of people who don't like him. And so you see John Mahama smiling with MPP people, shaking hands with MPP people. He seems to tolerate people who don't like him in politics, who don't like his politics. He would like to keep that image. So if you go hard at Galamsey, it just might work. That was the lobby. This is what we hear. That was the lobby. It appeared that it was successful. Hugely successful. Because today, here we are congratulating Justice Paul Baffoe Bonnie, and who is now being taught about as for all of these civil society independent thinkers, think that, oh, he's a very independent-minded judge. He was acting Chief Justice. He went to the Galamsey place and spoke about the issue. Now, why did that have to happen? Why did Justice Baffoe Bonnie why did he need to do something to give him a certain sense of independence? Because right from the get-go on the Tokonu matter, it had appeared, and references had been made, that Justice Baffoe Bonnie, as acting Chief Justice, had empaneled, he sat on the panel, Tokonu lost all the decisions, everything was against her. She complained to the Supreme Court and the unanimous decision. At some point, the court said they have no jurisdiction because the matters are in camera. All of these things, legal as they may be, clothed with legal legitimacy as it may be, seem to have suffered quite a bit of moral legitimacy. All of these decisions. However much that they were clothed with legal legitimacy because it's a procedure, they seem to suffer a bit of political and moral legitimacy. So in those circumstances, all of the people who had participated may have been suffering some deficits of moral and political. If one of them, the acting Chief Justice, were to speak about this very obvious matter, the Catholic Bishops' Conference had written about it. If he were to speak about it, just maybe he will attract and attach himself with some level of independence. If that happens, he will be the most attractive person for the position in terms of ticking the governance box, because the government of President Mahama would not like to be told that, oh, you had an acting Chief Justice. Because he went to the bar conference and spoke against you people, you ignored him for the Chief Justice. So you sort of bottled them into the position. Is that what happened? I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. But what we can say tonight is that congratulations to Mr. Justice Baffoe Bonnie. He's been nominated by the President of Ghana as the next Chief Justice. He's going to face Afenyo Makin and the rest of the appointments committee.